Happy Miracle Monday. This is Dawn Petalino, your transformational coach. And on my Miracle Monday, I speak to you about I actually remind you. I remind you what you already know about raising your own consciousness and about reminding you of the truths about yourself so you can respond to life in a way that brings miracles. And I reference a lot of the Course in Miracles, A Course of Love, and some other spiritual material, but mostly those. So if they resonate with you, then you're going to like this show. So Miracle Monday, today's Miracle Monday, is a topic that is really difficult. It's about healing hurtful relationships. And you might have heard that saying that hurt people hurt, right? But when we're in the midst of it, we don't think of that. We just think of how we're hurting. And a lot of times what's happening is, the Course of Love tells us that every time love is rejected, a choice for fear is made. And so people are, including ourselves, anytime we are rejecting love, we're making a choice for fear. And we make a choice for fear, we go into blame for other people, or we go into shame, which is blaming ourselves. So let's take a scenario where somebody's attacking you, okay? Somebody's attacking you. This can trigger one of two things. You can either feel the shame of it and become like this victim, feel this shame and go into self-loathing. And part of the reaction of that is seeking this love, feeling like they're not giving you love, feeling like you don't have love, and that you have to go out and get it. So we go into a people-pleasing mode. Please love me, please love me, please love me. Again, making the choice for fear that we're not loved, and it's ultimately from feeling loved by our source, but we throw it on this person. Oh, I'm not loved, I need your love. And so I can go into people-pleasing. Or the reverse is true, where I'm feeling attacked, and so, again, not feeling loved, and I'm going to attack you back because now my hurt is here and I want to hurt you back. Well, if I'm not feeling loved, let me just tell you how you're not loved. And this perpetuates that insanity. It perpetuates fear. It perpetuates fear. So remember what the Course in Miracles says, that every relationship is a divine assignment for maximal growth opportunity, which is a return to the loving thought. And the Course of Love reminds us, anytime you feel attacked, anytime you think that there's a lack of love, just be sure that it is coming from within you. We see this because if somebody that we're very neutral about, a stranger, kind of says something to us, and we're like, what? We don't really we let it roll off. It doesn't hit us in the heart. But if a family member or a friend or somebody we really care about, now if they attack us, you can see our attachment to, there's a part of me that doesn't really believe I'm loved. And oh my gosh, you're acting this way. And that's triggering the part in me that's afraid I am not loved. So you see, it always comes from within. You trigger the fear in me that somehow I am not lovable. And so therefore I must blame myself or blame you. How to get out of this? First things first, you have to remember what the Course in Miracles says, is that every special relationship, and special is not good, it's using it for ego purposes, you surrender to the Holy Spirit. And you ask that the relationship be used for its purpose. And there will be an undoing, because in that instant, the moment you ask, the Holy Spirit takes it and begins to use it to make it a holy relationship, which it does say that the greatest difficulty is usually in the beginning, because there might be a breakdown. There might be a breakdown when you surrender this relationship. I remember when I surrendered my marriage to the Holy Spirit, and yes, there was indeed a big breakdown, but ultimately, by staying the course, and we're going to talk about this, staying conscious, my ex-husband and I are good friends. So it's the love is still there. Only the love was real, and that's what remains. All right, so you surrender the relationship first. Surrender it. Say, use this for your purposes. Secondly, you pause, because you're going to notice and become aware of the reaction that you have, whether it's to go into blaming yourself, whether it's the desire to blame the other person. Pause and notice. Be the space of awareness rather than the reaction. Just notice the reaction you want to give. 3, go into your deeper desire. This is about your evolution of consciousness. It's not about raising theirs. It's not about fixing them. This is about your evolution of consciousness. If you're going to evolve into a higher consciousness, then we have to stop and pause and say, wait a minute, what is it I really desire here? Yes, I might be feeling hurt. Yes, they might be feeling hurt. What is my deeper desire? I want love. I just want us both to feel loved. I just want harmony. I just want peace. Get to that. Get to the root of what you really, really desire. Then pause, get to that root, and wait for a response. Keep that objective in your mind. Keep that intention in your mind and keep yourself in check. That might mean biting your tongue. That might mean walking away. That might mean saying, I need a break. I'm not going to say anything helpful right now, and I will return to this later. You keep yourself in check. And then you wait for a response. This is the difference, as the Course of Love tells us, between a reaction and a response. A response is a call from the heart, a willingness to be dedicated to the present moment, which means I can't go into the past and yell at you and tell you all the ways you're bad because I'm feeling unlovable. That's perpetuating the fear and the insanity. I'm going to wait for a new response and allow a thought beyond my thought to come into the present situation. And that will be my response, not a past reaction. This is where the miracle arises. You might have to wait for it. It might not come at that moment, but it will come. I've done this several times. It's not easy because in the midst of it, you want to yell or you want to go into shame. Go into awareness. So I remember this one time, with a person that they were feeling disappointed by something I did. And when I talked to them, they were kind of cold to me. And fortunately, this person was aware enough, though, that when we were talking, they said, you didn't do this. I thought you were going to do this, and I was disappointed, and I'm just feeling really, just like you just don't care about me. And I was consciously stopped myself from going into, oh, are you kidding me? Remember this and this and this. I consciously stayed out of the story and said, wait a minute. And I responded to the feeling, not his words, but the feeling and the intention of let there be collaboration here. Let there be harmony. And I said, you know what? I can understand why you were disappointed. I didn't know such and such, and unfortunately, disappointment happens in adult land, so I do get that, and I apologize. As far as not caring about you, do you really feel that? Have I really shown that? Or is that something your mind has been building up? Did you snowball something? And this person was able to step back and say, you know what, I really did snowball that. That's not true. Now, I've had other scenarios where I had to pause and been on full fire by somebody and just said, I surrender this. I don't know what response to give because at this moment, if I say anything, it's not going to be helpful or kind. And I would pause, and this is where you wait for a response, keeping in mind your intention of let this be an evolution of my consciousness, and saying, show me what to say here. You're asking your inner being, your source, show me what to say. And you might have to wait a little bit, but a response comes. I did this with a girlfriend, and I responded with, oh, I just got the thought, validate her. And I said, you know what, if that's how you saw it, then yeah, I could totally see why you would think that. And that brought all her defenses down. It doesn't mean you accept unacceptable behavior. I remember once with my father, when he got angry, he had grown up in a world where when they got angry with each other, they would just hold grudges and they would totally reject each other. So that came from a very hurt place. So he was upset with me for something, and he just totally said, got to brush me off and wasn't going to talk to me. And I remember having a real presence come down. Now, this was grace, but a real presence of the idea that may there only be love here. I really got in contact with my love for him, and I just said, you know what, I'm sorry. What I said was inappropriate and disrespectful, and I apologize. And he brushed me off again, and I said, I've apologized, and I mean it. It's up to you now whether you forgive me or not. And I felt clean. It wasn't my job to convince him. My job was to step up to the plate and own up to what I did, to keep my side of the street clean, and that's the last step, is let it go. So you surrender it, you pause, get clear on the real deeper desire, wait for the response, not a reaction. And then you surrender it. You do your part. You stay in your lane. You act in your integrity. Remember, this is for maximal growth opportunity for the evolution of your consciousness. Because ultimately, we are all that one energy. And if I respond to love, I invite the miracle. I invite the miracle every time I respond to love instead of fear. Happy Miracle Monday. I hope that helps you. I hope you carry that with you into any situation today that might involve a relationship where you attempted to be hurt and act out, that you stop and you surrender and you respond instead of react. Happy Miracle Monday. I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a fabulous Monday and a wonderful week, and invite more miracles into your life. And bye for now.